Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense. No, none taken.
That is right, none taken. I am your host, Easton Moore. Oh.
I hate this job.
Oh.
That's not 100% true, but that's from the original Aliens movie, and I feel like that was appropriate.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Quite a purpose.
Why is it appropriate?
Trevor, why do you got to be this way? And then my whole entire thing reloaded, so I got to find your guys' sound bites. We'll see if I do it. Yep, I did. Then all the way over there on the my far right and your guys' far left is our practical co-host, Trevor himself.
Hello.
Morning, crew.
Ugh.
You shaved. You should have known it was coming. You can't come in clean shaven.
Oh, wait. Morning?
Morning Gru.
Yeah. Like Despicable Me?
Yeah, because you look like Gru when you shave.
No, you don't, honey.
I don't like that.
And you even sound like him. See? If they are doing a live action Gru, you could go straight to Hollywood and be a millionaire.
Do I have the integrity? No, I don't.
No,
I would absolutely go.
Yeah, I know. None of us do. We would all snap a finger playing the worst movie ever for a few $1 million.
Right.
And then all of our mothers is a guest for today's episode, Andrea.
Hello.
Mom, what are you doing here?
That was pretty good.
It was right next to each other, and I'm like, how good? I don't even have to spend that much time looking. And then
I was nervous, so
it's pretty tame. Yeah,
it
a
was
little pretty tame. And then my lovely wife right next to me, the all-time guest, Tristan.
Looks like love at first sight to me.
Aww.
2 alien clips and 2
How
Despicable Me
sweet.
clips. Just perfect balance right there. I don't think we have any time for games like we did last week because I think this is going to be a long episode. I'm sorry. I just feel like
really
there's going to
do?
be... I feel like there's going to be a lot of
think so.
explanation, people thinking different things
I
on
think
things.
I need a lot of explanation.
Yeah. So, and I feel like the audience does a little bit too. So I don't mind. So, I didn't prep any games because we just watched this movie like 2 hours ago, and I was running around doing different stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I don't think we need to do a game because this might be an hour 20-minute episode by itself. So we don't need to add 25 minutes of fun goofiness like.
I got a game we could play,
Okay, it's got to be quick.
but we would need like a football.
Oh my gosh, why?
Not just because.
Okay. Well, Tristan's out, but what do you guys... let's just go to general thought. Oh, the movie we're doing is Nope. I'm so sorry. I'm a bad host right now. Yeah, the movie we're doing is Nope. It is a Jordan Peele movie. If you don't know anything about him, he is a comedic writer and actor and director, sketch artist guy who decided to make horror movies out of nowhere back in like 2017
yep.
And make Get Out, which was a sensation. A lot of people loved it.
Very
Good. Yeah.
And then his second debut
Us.
was Us, which got some mixed reviews. Which Tristan and I weren't big fan. I thought it was fine. Tristan hated it though. And then this is his third installment of his horror movie. I don't know. It looks like he's going to keep doing it because every time he interviews, he's really into the genre.
I feel like he's got a lot of ideas.
Yeah, which is really weird. He spent his whole entire life being a comedic, like a really funny sketch
And
artist.
if you've ever seen the Key and Peele stuff, he's Peele of Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Okay, but is that the substitute teacher guy?
No, that's Key.
That's Key, but it's that group.
The other guy.
Yes.
In the. Okay.
They're the one that do the football names. Oh, okay, that's another really popular one.
Okay.
But anyways,
I said nope.
They were on some epic rap battles of history when those were really popular a few years ago.
yeah. So yeah, that's the movie we're doing. It is a sci-fi / thriller / maybe horror, but doesn't really dabble. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Which is pretty on brand with his stuff. Most of his stuff is pretty thriller-ish. Doesn't really dive into the horror too much. So if you like his other movies, it's in the same realm, I think, but a little bit more sci-fi this time. Get a little tangled up over there with the doggo. Trevor, just kick us off with your general thoughts of Nope.
I think this is Jordan. I've only ever seen the only other Jordan Peele movie I've seen is Get Out, which I think is very well done. And
so
I think
you've seen 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
you're acting like you missed half of them.
Well, I mean, if there's only 3, I feel like I should have seen us. But anyway, I feel like this was really well done. He does a good job of everything coming back and everything having everything that requires explanation having an explanation. I think I personally was not totally on board with some of the designs for some of the things in this, and I felt like his movies are not memey. Somebody said they were self-aware, and I think I agree with. Or they're becoming more self-aware, and I think I agree with that. Like the title of this, I thought was really clever the first time it gets used in the movie when they refer to Nope, and because they say, does anybody know the rider or the jockey or the black jockey that was on the horse that was first filmed? And then they're like, no, and she says Nope, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like they're referring to this like thing in their family, and they're referring to it as Nope. But then it very quickly devolved into, we're just going to throw in Nope as like, oh, that's shady. Nope. Not doing that kind of thing. It's that, but other than that, the good qualities of this movie I was able to hang on to and not worry so much about the stuff that I didn't particularly care for.
Okay. Yeah. Andrea, what do you got on general thoughts?
One of the things that bothered me the most about this movie was that usually when you watch a movie, somebody is like your favorite character. You really like a character. I didn't find that in this. Okay. I didn't really like any of the characters.
There's one guy that's really quiet. The other guy, and then the girl is like super
and
over the top.
I couldn't stand her the whole time.
So over the top. Yeah. And then the third character is a weird, I don't want to say QAnon, but conspiracy theorist, crazy guy. So yeah.
And the main character guy, I like him as an actor, and he was fine. I liked him, but he didn't have much.
He's not super relatable.
Like he's very quiet and not. You don't get to know him.
It seemed like the same problem you guys had with our main character in last week's episode, the Crawdads, where the Crawdads sing. Of just the main character just doesn't speak a lot, and so it's hard to get a lot out of it. Get much out of a character if they're not actually talking much, and he's a very reserved character.
So I kind of felt like I couldn't get invested in it because I wasn't relating to anyone.
That's funny because I super relate with the dude. So
yeah, the main guy.
Well, and I think in the difference between this and then where the Crawdads sing is that this person, OJ, we're seeing do a lot more action than speaking. Yeah, like he's not talking because he might be riding a horse through the field or he might be like initiating a plan rather than just being quiet for quiet's sake.
No, he definitely does just be quiet for quiet's sake.
He didn't seem very cowboyish to me, and neither did she. And so,
well, she definitely doesn't.
I don't think she's supposed to.
I think he did though.
Just kind of like people out of context. Like I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
I also don't think he was supposed to be overly cowboyish.
Yeah,
I think it was supposed to be.
It was his dad.
Yeah, and he just doesn't want to get rid of his legacy, and so he's kind of holding on to it. So yeah, I see your point though. Yeah, and I do feel like maybe as a woman it would be a little bit harder to grab onto a character because the only character is like a really annoying woman,
right?
And like,
well, sometimes there's a guy who I really, I love the character. I just love the character. Yeah, didn't love any of the characters.
Yeah, like the last maybe 30 minutes, I thought she got a little bit better, but the first hour plus she was.
Which
real
really
rough.
stinks because I love Keke Palmer.
The first act of this is really slow.
Yeah.
Very slow, yeah. Yep.
Is that the end of your general thoughts so far? Or you got some more?
I guess.
Okay. I mean, we can just keep chatting, but I know if you had some more just pointers in your head you wanted to get out right off the bat. So.
Ha ha ha.
Tristan, what are your general thoughts?
It was fine. That's my general thought.
When I finally get this TikTok going, I'm just gonna have a TikTok of wife's reviews, and it's just literally. It was fine. It was terrible. It was great. Because, like, half of the reviews, that's how you start your general thoughts. And then you just take, like, a 30-second break. And then you decide to dive into it a little bit more.
I have to collect my thoughts.
Yeah. And you literally had all of Trevor and no, I'm just kidding. All of Trevor and Andrea's.
I was listening to their
I know.
thoughts.
Well, I
I
could
know.
say that I didn't find the plot very interesting.
I thought.
Yeah,
I
like
thought.
You just wait for, like, usually a movie you get to the end and you're kind of excited to see how this wraps up. I wasn't excited to see how it wrapped up.
I was excited how it wrapped up. However, I do think the driving plot was rough.
Yeah.
And I wish they had done it better. I understood what they were doing, but there were some key pieces, which we're obviously staying away from the specifics of it because we're still in spoiler free. But yeah, the thing that the driving plot of why they're doing what they're doing is really shaky in the first place, and they don't navigate it well. They could have. There were some things that they probably could have done to made it feel a little bit more real. Or even like finish it off well. Like the whole entire driving plot was kind of just thrown away in the wayside in the last 10 minutes. It was used once, but then like didn't really, like, there was no closure to it. Like the whole entire point of the movie didn't get any closure. Now the big thing about the movie, the huge shadowy thing of this movie, that was all, all of that
It was
had
taken
closure.
care of.
All of that had closure. But the actual plot that was driving the movie, that you didn't get any closure, which I felt was a huge misstep because I feel like they could have. It could have been pretty easy, even if like I would have even enjoyed if they ended it how they did, and then they added some, which I can talk about specifics later, but some video during the credits. There have been a couple movies that have done that before and done it really well, where they have they have the ending that they want, and then they can kind of not do a post-credit scene because we're kind of tired of those, but you can just have some clips and some images and stuff
during the credits.
That kind of give you some closure on some of the different characters and wrap up some of the plots that, like, okay, this thematically doesn't make sense or narratively makes sense to add on at the end of the movie because, like, here's a good stopping point, but you still, like, this is a fictional story and you need endings to these things. And
There were a few things that I have no idea how they tied together.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to hear everyone else's take on it.
Yeah.
So, because I am obviously missing several things.
okay,
Well, and there's a lot of stuff in this that is just like mystery for mystery's sake. Like,
But why?
well, that's the point. That's what makes it. That's what makes it Rocky. Like
I don't
you were
think there's
saying.
a whole lot of mystery after the movie's over.
No, not after the movie's over, but getting there. Like you guys have been talking about how the plot is rough. And I think that's why is because there's so much like, what's this guy about? Or like, what's happening here? Why is this happening the way it's happening?
Which is fine. Jordan Peele is very much of a fan of not exposing too much too early,
Right.
Which has been which can be really good, and I think for a lot of this movie was good. However, I mean, sneaking into my journal thoughts, it was really slow for an hour.
Yeah, it was.
And he took a little too long of just not allowing you to know any, or really just nothing happening. There was a lot of just nothing happening.
Or the same thing happening like multiple times.
Yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine, kind of about this movie, but then we got into another movie, Men, where like sometimes they just do the same thing just too many times. Like I didn't have a problem with the way Men ended, but it kept going. If you guys don't know anything about the movie, a male has birth and like through a female's vagina.
I haven't seen it, but I listened to your podcast about it.
Well, it happens like
weird.
10 times in a row. And like if you just would have done it 3 times, you would have got the point across. It would have been gross, grotesque, and you could have got to the point. But instead, you just had to watch it for 10 minutes, and you're like, "This is annoying." And in this movie, you're just watching this slow build thing, and then nothing really happened, and then the same thing happens, but really nothing is happening, and it just does it a few too many times. So you're like wasting like you could have shaved maybe 10 minutes.
It was a long movie.
Yeah, you could have shaved 10 minutes in the beginning / middle of this movie and cut quite a bit of time. And there's also a side plot in this movie that doesn't make any sense. That was literally just
That's what I'm talking about.
Was
like, how does that tie in with the,
yeah.
plot?
I have two things that I thought of.
two general thoughts.
I was really trying.
Other than
was
this
fine.
movie was okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Fine.
Okay, the first one was I actually, contrary to Trevor's take, I actually really liked how they tied in the name of the movie.
Boom, me too.
I thought
High
it
five.
was very
Trevor's
I
like,
was like,
how dare you?
I feel like the name of this movie is like a timestamp in our generations. It's like,
yeah. See, I just thought it
Yeah.
was clever.
I thought it was
I
clever.
do think they kind of like they obviously made it as a comedic
Yeah.
point throughout the movie, which I understand maybe why Trevor doesn't like it. However, I just think I think it's a very unique name for a horror movie.
Yeah.
And today in the 2020s, Nope is like a general thing that millennials and
Yeah.
30-something-year-olds will say when like, I ain't doing this. Nope, I'm
Yeah.
out. Nope, I'm out.
Well, and,
And so I think it was clever.
When it was used, it added some comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And which is why I
And
understand.
there wasn't any other comic relief,
Yeah.
really.
Well, and that's why I didn't like it
Yeah.
because it's not supposed to be comic relief. Like this is after a
It
certain
broke
point,
the
not to give too much away.
style.
After a certain point, this is a monster movie.
Yeah.
And like and not just that dialogue, but dialogue across the board. When they first get introduced to Angel, the tech guru guy, his dialogue is so cringy.
Yeah.
Like, and not even that, but just all through that first act, not everybody, but most people's dialogue is just like, it was just not good.
I didn't notice the cringe dialogue much. I found him more of like a cringy character, not
Yeah.
necessarily cringy dialogue. But the other people, I mean, well, I guess 2 out of 3. I thought the woman was pretty. She was just annoying, and I think she was supposed to be.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be the annoying little sister, and then he was supposed to be the cringy
Tech guy.
LA tech guy
Yeah.
that's talking about his girlfriend that just got a pilot on the CW.
Yeah, and he screams for no reason.
Yeah.
Like that's
Trevor, don't act like you wouldn't do that.
I would well, not if you're on the job. Go anyway. Sorry, I'm getting riled up.
Good. Get
fine.
riled up. But I totally get what you mean by the name. I understand why you don't like it.
Yeah.
I personally did end up liking it, but I can totally understand why somebody would think that doesn't fit because it is used specifically for comedic relief. And I get why somebody wouldn't like that in a horror movie.
It's kind
So-
of a corny
yes.
thing to do to
And it was
name it that.
when I was watching the movie and it was kind of happening. That's when I realized I really liked the uniqueness of the name. And then they started throwing it in a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I still like the uniqueness. I still I say Nope. So I kind of related to that aspect of it. But then I also did realize this is just a comic relief thing. And do we really need comic relief in these movies? No, but. I didn't mind it, and I kind of overlooked it and was fine with it. But totally understand why somebody would be put off by it. So I totally get what I could see you
else.
brewing
Yes.
it up while we were talking about it, and I'm like, I totally get it.
Yeah.
It landed better for me, but I could totally see why somebody would dislike it.
Okay.
Your second thing.
Yeah, this isn't the second thing because I forgot that. But oh no, I remembered. Okay. No, I didn't. I at the beginning of the movie, I don't know if I can say it actually.
Okay, whatever. What was the other thing you were going to say?
I was gonna
Third thing.
say that.
You came up with a new thing because you
Yep.
forgot the second thing.
Yep. Oh. I didn't. I would not classify this as a scary movie.
Yeah.
I would not.
Yeah.
Personally.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't say horror.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't
would not
horror.
say horror.
Sci-fi almost.
I would say.
I would say sci-fi thriller.
Sci-fi.
Yeah.
I would barely sprinkle thriller.
Yeah, it's
Sci-fi is the ice cream,
So-
and thriller are the sprinkles.
this is the thing though. Just because the movie, for large parts of the movie, is not scary or suspenseful, doesn't mean it's not a thriller at heart. Because, if you go back and watch Hereditary, I just started talking to somebody about Hereditary, so it's on the mind. A lot of that movie is just normal stuff happening, and then there are sections that are really suspenseful and thriller, and then horror
Yes,
sprinkled in.
but
And
I
I think this
feel-
has that.
I don't think so.
Do you
I
do you
feel-
almost feel like this is sci-fi action?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still think it's a thriller.
I feel the thriller in my bones, and I did not feel anything in my bones of
Me neither.
that nature.
Okay.
I didn't feel anything, period.
Oh. I was definitely creeped out for a while. Now, I think it took a little too long at the beginning. The first act.
I was
The
mostly
first act just took
confused.
like. Oh, okay. I was definitely creeped out of like what exactly was going to happen, especially after it starts us off pretty quick with some gnarly stuff. Both with the subplot thing and our main character. I don't want to spoil anything, but both our main character, something happens, and the side plot thing. Like both of those were pretty jumping off the bat with some creepiness. So then I was like every time something suspenseful was happening, I was like, okay, what degree is this going to go to? And it kind of left us there, but I was suspended for a while, but then it just took too long. And then once it finally got somewhere again, I was then back in the suspenseful.
Linda and I were talking about that on the way home, and she went and saw it with us too.
Yeah.
And she said it wasn't scary. I was like, yeah, it wasn't scary.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I heard her yell once.
Well, there were jump scares.
Like maybe 2.
There were like 2 jump scares, but that was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's different than being scared.
Yeah.
Like you weren't like, oh no, it's because.
That's why I'm saying it's
You
not
thought
a.
things
That's why I'm
coming.
saying it's not a horror movie.
Right.
Like, because a
Right.
horror movie is like that. Like to me, a horror movie makes you terrified,
Yeah.
and that doesn't do that. It just makes you.
Suspenseful.
Yeah, it's suspenseful. That's why I call it a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that my definition of thriller is looser than some. So I gave someone a recommendation of thriller movies, and someone was like, "Oh, all of these are fantastic movies. I don't know if they're thriller movies, but like." All of these are really good movies, so like this is a good list. And I was like, well, I mean, they're all listed as thrillers on Letterboxd,
Yeah.
and like they had other movies that definitely weren't, and I picked ones that at least had thriller aspects to them. But nonetheless, yeah,
Yeah.
we can all agree it's not horror, and
Right.
I think that's kind of an issue the movie had is it listed itself as a horror, and it's not. And so I think audiences were coming into it expecting, especially with the trailer. The trailer was a little bit more scary.
Yeah.
And I think I think like I was coming into this with the wrong mindset. I was coming into the
too.
mindset with horror on the mind. Instead, this was sci-fi thriller, which is completely different. Oh,
The monkey stuff is rough.
yeah. Well, like I said, we don't
that
want to get into
spoiler?
that yet.
No, but I'm saying, no, I'm
he's
saying
just
like,
saying monkey
like,
stuff.
Like
but-
for we're talking about horror aspect, and I'm thinking about the more gruesome parts.
yeah,
That's
yeah. Which
I was not scared, but I'm like, this is intense.
No, yeah, and that's I want to get into that, but I think that's a pretty heavy spoiler stuff. But
Yeah.
yes, the monkey stuff was the horror part.
yeah.
I feel like it was kind of just thrown in there.
Well, like I said,
a
we'll get
couple
into it.
times,
We'll get in.
And I don't think that qualifies for me.
Yeah, you want the
as a
whole thing.
movie.
You want the whole thing
Yeah.
all the time. Horror 24/7.
Horror 24/7.
She wants decapitation or nothing all the time.
Halloween Ends comes out next month, so
Yay.
I know.
you're in 2
She's
months, so you
excited.
can get excited for that.
Which I'm very confused because you apparently can't kill him. So how does it end?
We'll see.
Curtis
He-
can
That's
do
a whole
anything.
nother-
He kills everybody else. That's how it ends.
That's what I figured. I'm like, yeah, he just has
honestly,
to.
I hope so. I feel like they're definitely gonna make it where he dies, but like somehow, I don't know.
Well, the last movie, I kept saying, cut off his head. Cut off his head. What is
Yeah.
he going to do?
And they didn't.
So
cut
maybe
off-
they cut off his head
Yeah.
in this one.
I haven't seen any of them.
You haven't seen any Halloween movie? Oh, that's
Interesting.
there's
I watched
actually
them
some
all
good
last
ones.
year.
Yeah, we watched one, the new one, and then the second new one.
Yeah.
So we didn't watch Halloween 2 or Halloween H2O or all those weird ones.
I watched them all before that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is another like staple of Jordan. I mean, this is the Jordan Peele flavor, and I think he keeps outputting like at least in my opinion, he keeps outputting at least good things.
Yes, and the one thing I really enjoy about this movie, it is, and a lot of his movies, 100% original.
Yes.
This is
yeah. Well, and I was a little worried about this one, but there's a turn in this, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we haven't seen that before.
Yes, it is 100% original. That like it takes turns that you're not expecting, because it kind of gives you something that you feel you're familiar with, and it spins that in a new way.
Absolutely.
And I really enjoy movies that do that.
Yeah.
And I think this does it, and that might be why I like the movie more than some others.
That was me too.
And I also don't mind slower movies in general. So
I was
that
kind
also
of
helps.
like on the fence about it until that happens, and then I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool."
Yeah, just original new take on
Yes.
on something that we're supposed to be familiar with, or it's been used in cinema for 100 years. So, I think I had some other stuff, but I can't quite remember, and I feel like spoilers is where the thick stuff is going to get into. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about when it comes to general thoughts? Okay, well, recommendations. We'll go through the line. Trevor, do you recommend Nope?
Yeah, and I did you guys see this in Dolby?
Yeah.
I saw it in a normal theater.
Oh, okay.
But I still recommend
It
it.
actually did not add much. The
I
sound
didn't figure it would.
The sound was not good.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, and the score doesn't really like kick in until the third act.
Did you notice that their voices were echoing?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
I feel like there may have been a sound issue then,
Oh,
because literally, like, people were talking and there was an echo to most of their voices. Only in certain like sections. Like, it would happen for like 15 minutes and then I didn't notice it. Then it would happen again. I would notice and then it would go away.
Interesting.
And then, like, I don't know. Dolby's kind of been letting me down, unless it's like Christopher Nolan or like somebody that like really knows how to utilize the sound.
Speaking of Christopher Nolan, sorry.
Did
Oppenheimer play a trailer after like the?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were really confused.
I was like, what is happening?
And I had heard on Twitter that if you went and saw Nope, you'd get the Oppenheimer trailer. And so,
so it was like a
when I
specialty
started-
thing.
Yes. And so when I
Okay.
started seeing the countdown, I was like, this doesn't look like the movie. And then
Yeah.
some more stuff. I was like, oh, this is the trailer that they said was exclusive for Nope. Like,
Okay.
only people
Go to
that
see
went and
Nope
saw
and see
Nope.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And so I told Tristan, hey, this is not the movie. And then she told Andrea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Andrea told Linda, and then
Yes.
so on and so forth.
And then I was
Actually,
like,
no, I
this
don't
is the
think I
movie.
told Linda. I was like, she'll figure it out.
Did she figure it out?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wouldn't have.
Yeah. I just
I'd have
feel
been
like,
so confused.
back on what I was saying, I feel like Dolby hasn't delivered very well recently. Like, they haven't been super loud. And I'm like, the reason why I go to Dolby is to feel the sound in me. And
Yeah.
like, there were a couple moments in this.
Yeah, it shook some.
But then there were also a few moments where something big was happening and it was kind of dull. And I'm like, how do you have this sound system and you're not utilizing it?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be cranking the bass up on this.
I've been cranking that bakery.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Andrea, do you recommend it?
No.
I didn't think so.
You mean
Nope?
I mean, nope. Dang it.
It was right there,
Missed
Andrea.
it. Oh. I even thought about that on the way here.
I know.
Nope.
Lay up and you
I was
miss
like-
it.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. Andrea, what do you recommend this
Nope.
movie? Oh, that was quick. I was like, you're the one that's listened to all 147
I know.
of our episodes. So
I told
feel
you,
like
I thought about it earlier. I just forgot. Like when a movie ends and nobody says a word, that's kind of a sign that
really?
Oh, I go to movies by myself, so no one really says anything.
I usually
after
don't
it
say
finishes.
anything unless it's like it's
yeah.
phenomenal. Then I
I
might.
normally say something
Yeah.
at the end of a movie.
I was actually trying to fall asleep on purpose because I wanted it to end.
Oh. I saw you sleeping.
Tristan
over
kept waking
there.
me up. I was like,
I woke you
"Dang
up
it."
2 times,
I'm just
maybe.
kidding.
Maybe 2 times.
I'm just kidding.
Well, when I hear people talking after a movie, it's usually after a Marvel movie, and it's not very good, and they're screaming about how good it is. So I don't usually take that as
Yeah, I mean, and not everybody's like me and was
People-
like not getting
Yeah.
connections and things.
Yeah.
I just don't think that way. But for people like
Yeah.
me, no, I would not recommend it.
Speaking on people talking about like the movie afterwards, Top Gun Maverick ended and not a single person like said or clapped or did anything, and I'm like, how have I seen like multiple Marvel movies and everyone gets up and claps and yelps and stuff off of these mediocre movies, and then Top Gun comes out and there's nothing.
It's the audience. It's a type of audience.
And I'm like,
probably.
I wanted to clap after Top
Yeah?
Gun. Like I wanted to stand up, but I'm like, I'm be the only one. This is weird.
You should have done it.
be a
Maybe.
leader.
I would have done it with you.
Maybe, but like I was blown away with how good that movie was. And we talked about it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
even went.
It was great.
Yeah, you went.
Yeah.
You and Corey went and watched it. And Corey couldn't stop talking about it for a couple
Yeah.
days either.
Yeah.
Brandon can't stop talking about it either.
I shaved yesterday.
Shout out, Brandon.
And I did the goose mustache.
Yeah.
And I sent him a picture of it this morning. He's like, well, it looks terrible, but well, he didn't say that. I was like, it looks terrible. And then he texted back and he was like, well, at least you tried.
Yeah. Let's be fair. Goose has the bod.
He does. And
That's the thing.
And I do not.
Goose and Rooster have the bod, and then the mustache works because they have the bod. It's like if you have the body, you'll make the other things work.
Somebody told me I looked like an 80s like aspiring movie star or something like that.
Porn star.
No,
I'm pretty sure they said aspiring movie star, but
you know what
that's
they
what
meant.
I was expecting was them to
You
say
know what
something.
they meant. They were just being kind.
I guess.
Tristan, do you recommend, or did you already?
I didn't say anything,
Okay.
but mostly because I don't really know.
Yeah.
Not really, I guess.
Yeah.
Eh.
It's kind of how I felt you were saying.
Yeah, especially if someone was like, if somebody came to me and they were like, "Hey, I want to watch this scary movie."
No, yeah, I wouldn't
I would-
recommend this for a scary movie.
Yeah,
No.
if I hadn't seen it, you would not recommend it to me.
No. Yeah, no. You're right.
No, I if somebody said give me a scary movie to watch, this would not be one I recommend. But I would definitely recommend this for people that don't mind a slow burn, different approach to sci-fi, like a realistic sci-fi stuff.
And that's a good point because Mom and I aren't super into sci-fi, and you two are.
Yeah. Well,
Hang on now.
I was like, I don't know how much Trevor's into sci-fi.
It's fine.
More than Mom and I. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Now I would
He
say
recommended the movie, didn't he?
I would say
Sure.
go watch Ex Machina over this, but
Yeah, definitely.
that's another sci-fi movie that has some like it's not horror, but it has this similar of like it gets eerie and stuff, and like you're like, okay, what is
I feel
happening?
like this movie is trying to be scary.
There are
So,
definitely some moments, yeah.
also, if you're looking for some hot takes in
Oh, no.
review form, I just pulled up my letterbox and Tristan's review came up.
Oh.
Can anyone guess what her review says?
It's fine.
It was fine.
I literally did that as we were sitting here right after I said it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you guys, go follow her letterbox. She's got the fire 3-word reviews.
Proudly.
All the deets after a movie. I don't want to see what your reviews of the Riddick movies were.
You saw Black
I
Phone 3
didn't.
times?
2 times. I logged it once. I logged it
I
twice,
really
and I
liked
said
that
I
movie
watched
a
it
lot.
once.
Oh,
I did
okay.
too.
Yeah, I'd see it again.
Yeah,
I know Tristan because her review is so
Oh, yeah,
good.
you saw it a second time with me.
Anyway,
So good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's about it for the spoiler-free part of the review.
did you recommend it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I gave my caveat. I said I'd recommend it if you like sci-fi kind of stuff.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Someone was paying attention.
Not me.
Yep.
Not I.
I heard it.
Thanks, Andrew. Our guest is the only one that pays attention to our host.
I am the
so
bomb.
maybe I'm gonna boot both
Did
of
you
you
say
down.
the bomb or the, mom?
I don't get paid enough
The
to
mom
listen to
is
the
what I
host.
said.
Okay, I'm just gonna start calling you guys guests. You guys aren't all-time guest or practical
That
co-host
was
anymore.
rude.
Oh,
Can't pay attention.
no.
Yeah, pay attention then. Okay, well we're gonna
He
go to
doesn't
the.
mean it.
We'll see. Yeah, we're gonna cut it to our ads, and then we'll be right back for the spoiler part of the review. Sponsor of today's episode is Newsly. For the first time ever, the entire web becomes listenable all in one place. Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up the most trending articles on the web and topics you choose at any given moment and reads them to you in a nice voice. You can browse articles from topics you choose and start playing, so you can stop scrolling and start listening. You can follow any topics like sports, tech, business, science, Bitcoin, or even the Kardashians. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you out loud. And they have podcasts as well, exploring trending podcasts from over 80 countries. Our podcast, The Movie Moron, is there too. I started using it as my default podcast app lately, and they even have digital radio. Download and use Newsly for free now at www.newsly.me or from the link in the description, and use promo code THEMM that I will also put in the description and receive a 1-month free premium subscription service. So download the Newsly app now. All right, we are back.
We're back.
So excited after that spoiler-free part of the review and those couple ads. And now we're getting into all the spoils. So if you've not seen Nope, I would probably go ahead and pause it if you thought, it was something to watch, because 2 of us said yes and 2 of us said no. So if you're more on the line of Andrea and Tristan, then you can keep listening. If you're more on lines with Trevor and I, then go ahead and pause it and go give it a watch, and then come back and listen to us talk about the spoiler
Ramble.
stuff. Yeah, ramble. That's what we do. We don't. We don't review stuff. We just ramble. So
I like it.
Yeah, that's true. Number 1 loyal listener right there.
That's right.
I don't know. Brandon might fight you for that title. We'll see.
He might. Yeah.
One of these days
Boy
we'll have
and the girl. There you go.
the mom and the friend. Who will win?
Maybe it's the mom's friend.
I just like listening to you guys talk more than anything. I'm like Grandpa at dinner. He didn't say a word. He just listens to everybody talk.
And he just chuckles.
Hey, buddy.
What you want?
Do you need something?
Well, there's the Trent break that you guys have all been waiting for. Haven't had one of those in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so spoiler part. I think it's obvious what we should get into right away. We've been avoiding it for a long time. All the chimp stuff. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not where I thought you were going.
What does that have to do with anything?
yeah,
I don't
I
get
really think it was a subplot that was just there to
I think they
have-
forgot to tie it in.
they may have had a script in there that tied it in a little bit
And
better.
they cut it out.
But yeah, I also agree. I don't know where it really, because obviously that was where we were supposed to get some sort of emotional tie to Stephen Ewan's character. Ewan?
You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
Glenn.
Ewan's? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call him Glenn.
Which it did. It made you feel really bad for him as a character because of everything that he went through. And then he ended up just getting murdered by this alien.
Well, I kind of, so when it was coming and going to take him, he kind of had a smile on his face. Like
Did
he
he?
wanted that to happen.
I don't think he did.
I think it was more
I think if it was
confused.
there, it was not good acting.
Oh.
No,
Okay,
I'm saying
I
like
was
I
just
think
gonna
if that's
say-
what you got from it, then he must have been doing something wrong because I don't think that's what it was
What I was
supposed to
going
be.
to say was he was traumatized, and maybe he was just not happy and wanted something amazing in his life, and he was just like, yes, cool. I have no idea. I just guess.
I think the purpose of it is to show that the alien has been around because it's an animal and they don't know why it freaked out, and it shows us that the monkey stops and it kind of the rage is over after a minute, like the alien left. But then you could
Well,
go. There's no like electric.
So you think it's kind of like a metaphoric?
No,
or it's a symbolism of this monkey went off and just murdered everybody.
No, I don't even think it's symbolism. I think it literally is showing us the alien has been around. Like it's not a new thing. It's been around because its presence forced this monkey to go crazy.
Oh, I don't
like
think
the
the-
horses.
Oh, I don't think the presence of the alien made it go crazy.
Oh,
Yeah. How did you get that?
because the
I was
horses
kind of
act up.
thinking that. Just right now, only.
Lucky doesn't, but Lucky knows not to look
Okay,
at it. But all
maybe.
the other horses freak out and run wild.
All of the tech and stuff would have gone.
That's the one
Yeah.
thing that I.
Maybe that's
so-
the tie. Maybe they're
I-
saying it's been around since this guy
I
was
think
a kid.
maybe the only tie would be so animals just go crazy and kill, but
It does happen. Yeah.
But Steven's character lived through it and survived it.
Yeah.
And that was his connect because of his connection with that animal. Somehow the exploding fist is what apparently made him survive it.
Yeah.
And so maybe he thought that he had that same connection with the UFO. And so
Oh,
maybe
maybe.
that was the tie-in because he said we're friends, like we have a mutual agreement.
Yeah.
So
That'd be my only guess, but also that's not needed. It was so much extra screen time
Yeah.
for such a nuanced.
when he was doing
thing?
the show and he said, the next hour will change your life, was he talking about they were going to get a glimpse of the thing?
The UFO, yeah.
He was saying that for the past several days, it had
Several weeks.
the months. Yeah.
6 months, yeah.
6 months, yeah.
Every Friday it would
At
come
this
out.
time, you can see it clearly. Is what
Okay.
he was saying.
I missed that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he
He just
basically
didn't expect it to attack.
Well, it had always ate a horse. He would send a horse out, and it would take up the horse. But it would come out of the cloud to go take the horse.
Maybe
But it came
I
out
did
early.
fall asleep longer than I thought.
That's
No, I
it's-
was awake through that, but I
it's-
missed it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's a few words. So
That was a rough part. I thought that was not super like obvious when they're getting eaten, because we see inside the alien.
yeah.
And they're being digested or whatever, and they're all screaming, and so like you assume that that's what's happening, but it was I also just didn't like the design of the alien in general.
Oh, no, I didn't either. I thought it was dumb.
And so I wasn't totally on board anytime we saw inside.
It looked like sheets.
Yeah, which I think was the point. But when it's in, it's like all I could think of in the third act was, "This isn't even my final form," kind of
Yeah.
thing. But anytime we saw it like that, and then I was just like, "How does this thing even function?" Like, and I get that's an alien, and so I let it go because like if it works in Jordan Peele's mind and that like it's consistent, so like I'm just gonna take it for what it is. I just don't totally like it.
So was there an alien and a UFO, or
It was the same
US?
thing.
Oh yes, or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
PA or something.
It's basically it was an alien animal, like an alien force.
And why did he
animal.
say we don't call them UFOs, we call them whatever, and then they never talked about it again?
I think it was just.
Because that actually happened. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
back in 2020.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's that. It was playing off of a
I
real
figured
thing.
it was. I figured it was, but then they didn't
Yeah.
start calling it.
So, and they even referenced an exact thing of the Air Force releasing footage of a UFO off of the sea, like in the sea, and then they started calling it a UAO or whatever, and so
UAP.
UAP.
What
yeah.
does UAP stand for?
Unidentified aerial something phenomenon.
Unexplained.
Unexplained aerial phenomenon.
I think.
Because
Okay.
phenomenon makes it feel like more of like a what maybe
Like it's not, or
Mystery?
like it's
it could be matter that's just reflecting or
Yeah,
whatever instead of
right.
like a flying object.
So sometimes this thing looked like a big round saucer.
Yeah. That was his normal form.
and apparently that was its form to eat.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
only except because the only time it ever ate was when it was in
In that form.
In
Yeah.
that form, yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand what the other form was for.
I think just shock value. I
Yeah.
think it's just to be
Which I
like,
think was
this is what it
fine.
really looks like. And-
Well, I think it was just like it can change.
Opened up.
yeah.
Yeah. I was like it, and I thought that
And
I
it
thought
was
cool.
massive when it did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was cool.
I'm glad that people came at the end because I was thinking, I was like, this thing is enormous and just in the sky. Are
Yeah.
there, and you're in California, like there aren't people just around that can see this thing. And so
Yeah.
I was glad to see that like they kept that and like people showed up at the very end. But, and then it just pops like a big old balloon.
Yeah, and that was the closure we didn't get. Is like, did it die?
I think
it looks like it did.
I mean,
I think
guess
it
you
did
assume it did.
because when the decoy horse gets sucked up, it spits it back out almost whole.
Yeah.
And so they say, well, I guess that makes it hard to breathe for it or something. They mentioned something about its
Yeah.
windpipe, and so that was. I think it is supposed to be like, okay, this thing is dead because it sucked up that thing because it had eyes,
Yeah.
and then it sucked it up and it like choked itself out. But also it's made of sheets, so like how does that work? But
Yeah.
whatever. And so
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We didn't get that
Sheets
closure.
and streamers.
yeah.
Okay, so when the main character was riding the horse
OJ.
and then the thing went on its side,
Yeah.
and he dove off, and they're like, "We did it! It's over."
Yeah,
What happened?
they were filming it. They got the
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
The plot of the movie, which is what I think is the weak plot, is that they just want to film the
They want
UFO.
proof. Yeah.
They want to film it because they can sell that and make a lot of money. That was the
Don't they want to get rid of it?
Well-
towards the very end, yes, but they kept on wanting to go
Not
back.
at first.
Oh no! Even at the end, they just wanted
Yeah.
the picture so that they could sell it, make millions
So did the guy sacrifice himself?
to get an inside shot. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they dropped the film.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and I think
Well, the tech guy was an idiot and walked outside of the camo thing and then stared directly at it.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to sacrifice
survived.
himself and cover himself with barbed wire.
Well, yeah, but in reality, he covered himself with barbed wire so that he couldn't get sucked up.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
And I really thought that he was going to get torn in half because that's probably what
More
would
likely,
really happen.
yeah.
And so I thought I was like, well, here's our first horror thing.
Yeah.
Where this guy like tries to tie himself to a fence, but in reality, like the wire with the force is just going to literally split you in half. But they didn't do that, so that was kind of stupid. They should have, because he isn't used again. He's just laying on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kill the tech guy.
So, okay. When in the end, when she lets the big old thing go and she's flashing the flash thing, is that because it attracts it?
No, she's trying to get the
taking pictures.
shot.
Still taking pictures. This is so confusing.
Because
she's
literally the
Because
whole
she acted like she had to do that.
yes, the whole entire plot of this movie is they see a UFO and they can make money off of taking a picture of it. If they can get physical,
That wasn't very clear.
no, well,
I mean, I know they kept trying to take pictures,
maybe
but
you were asleep. But literally, the whole entire
On purpose.
the main plot. That was the
Yeah,
main plot.
to get
That's why.
pictures of it.
That's why they went and got security cameras. That's why they kept on. That's why they
Yeah.
grabbed all of these things.
But
They
I
got the
thought-
director. That's why they got everything.
I thought they had the security cameras, so they knew when it was coming and they could
No.
try to save
No,
themselves.
they're trying to film it.
and that prey mantis.
Oh, that was
That was a dumb
the
bit.
clichéest thing of the whole movie. Especially,
was dumb.
I was like, please don't fly off at the end. Like
Yeah.
that's the only thing that would make this work worse.
What I thought when that actually happened was this UFO. Well, at this point, we just thought it was a UFO. We didn't know it was a thing yet. Was like it already has control over electronics, and so maybe it has some sort of touch to
Insects.
yeah. And so it was like it knew this thing was trying to take a picture of it, and so it decided to it covered it up in some way. But that was never played again. It just was dumb luck.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
I don't either.
The best part of this movie, I think, was maybe the best.
When we see the kids dressed as aliens
Yeah.
in the shed.
that was
really good.
really good bit.
Yes,
because
I agree.
You don't know it's a bit.
No.
It 100% feels real, in that this is the time where the aliens are coming out.
And every single person in our theater was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Well, I thought, it's going to get good. And then it was a joke.
And then
Yeah.
it didn't.
Yeah, and I was like, dang it.
And then those kids got eaten.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
All those
Serves
people-
them right for playing jokes like that.
I'm glad
Just
to see
kidding.
that. I'm glad to see
No, you
that.
mean it.
Maybe.
The Stephen Young cowboy. I'm glad to see his Monkey Family co-star lady survived. But man, she was looking rough. When we saw the
But then
trailer,
that
I
was
thought
another thing that pissed me off. Like, she survived just to get eaten by the alien.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Like the-
thinking.
like-
It was a
no-
lot of years. She had a lot of good years.
But I'm saying for this
Maybe not good.
The movie purpose, like for the movie's purpose.
Yeah.
Like all of this stuff happened with this monkey, and all of it was just for them to be people that died. Like
Yeah.
it didn't come to mean anything.
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't like.
Yeah.
Now the monkey scene that we get, like that stuff was probably the most terrifying scenes
Yeah.
of the movie.
Yeah.
But what was for the
What was the point of it?
for this movie? There was no reason for it to be there. You could have
No.
taken that out, and that would have changed the movie 0%. You could have had them just, this is a random Western town, and they're doing this show, and they all get eaten.
It's almost like they wanted to have that woman looking with the scary face.
I think
she got her face
because in
eaten
the
off.
trailer, she's in it. That
Yeah.
shot is in the trailer,
Yeah.
and I remember
Yeah, it
thinking,
is.
"Oh, that's the alien. Like that's been planted itself among the people, or something like that." And so, I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think that was the purpose of it.
I think
like
I thought
solely
that
for the
too,
movie,
though,
but
Trevor.
I think for the trailer, that's what the purpose of it was for.
I thought it was
but-
just supposed to be a scary person,
Me too.
yeah.
because usually deformed face stuff, like they tend to be a messed up individual, and so like I thought that was going to be a play. But
I saw the trailer. I saw the actor. I heard he was the guy that did Get Out, and I'm like, oh, awesome! I want to see this movie. I did not pay attention to what it was about from the trailer.
so in the trailer, they make it pretty.
Pretty clear, it's a UFO movie.
Well, I was going to say they hold back a lot, but then at the very end, you do see a UFO.
Yeah, I just didn't remember that.
So-
I didn't either.
Okay, so you know that it's aliens. So like I knew like that's what was happening.
Yeah.
It was aliens doing whatever. But yes, it is. He definitely goes like. It maybe would have been a better movie if he really went into the alien aspect of it, but I think he wanted to do something that was more original than just scary.
Yeah.
It's definitely original.
Yeah.
I fear that he is suffering from what Michael Jackson suffered from with Thriller, is that Get Out was so good and so well done, and it was so phenomenally accepted as a great movie.
Overrated.
Huh? Overrated.
No.
No.
That's
Great
what I said.
movie.
But
Overrated. It's a 4.5 out of 5.
like you said,
Right.
Us is like mixed, and
Us is mixed review,
and
yeah.
this one I don't think is as good as Get Out.
Yeah.
And so I'm worried that like he's going to keep trying to get to the same quality of movie that Get Out was, and he's just never going to get like capture that
Well,
again.
here's the thing. Get Out had something that none of these other movies have, and there's the racial aspects of Get Out. And that's why that movie
Yeah.
is received so well. That's why the movie is loved so much, is because it's going back on the fact that white people are the bad people and black people are the... And that's why that movie's received so well.
I think
I
that's
will die on that hill. It's a great movie.
I think that
But that's why it's received as a horror, like, pinnacle because of that. It's really good.
Yeah.
But that's why people
Okay,
love it so
anyway.
much.
I also think not like the other side of that coin, I think, is Jordan Peele is doing something now for the black community that I think is not being done anywhere else.
Sure.
Where like I was thinking there's a lot of shots of Kaluuya, I can't remember his first name. There's a lot of shots of OJ in this where he's in the dark.
Daniel.
And you can only like basically see his eyes.
Yeah.
And I've been
They
read,
did that a lot with Us.
well, and I've been reading stuff recently about how there's like the film industry is built around white actors in terms of like lighting. And so I think that's great that Jordan Peele is doing that. And like we are kind of getting this exposure in a different way. So I think the other side of that coin, I think that this was, I'm glad that he is doing this because he seems to be sticking to his guns with it. And I think he should.
I really like Jordan Peele's originality to his horror stuff, and I will continue to watch everything that he does because I've liked 2 of them, and I thought even Us, which I thought was not that great, I still enjoyed. I just there was some stuff that I very much disliked about it. I was just stating that I think Get Out is praised as it is because it's a very easy thing to attach to.
Yeah, sure.
So, and yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what I was going to say earlier. The people. Okay, at the very beginning, when they were in that shoot, and
Yeah, she shows up late.
yep, all of that part. I was interested in that, and I wanted to see the brother and sister work stuff out and figure out how they can help each other with all of this cowboy stuff and how they can. I thought they were gonna have more interaction with outside people. There weren't a lot of outside people in this movie, and I wish that there were more.
It's a 3-man cast, basically.
Yeah.
Three people.
Kind of 4.
Yeah,
I was
before the
looking
older guy came
forward-
in.
Antlers.
I know, but
what a weird name.
for most of the movie, it was 3 people.
3,
though.
yeah.
I was looking forward to them like being received by the
all that
film
stuff just made me
industry.
upset because it was like you're dealing with a live animal. Like you can't
Yeah.
just
I
throw
wanted-
1,000 things at it. And he kept on saying, "Do not get to the back of the horse." That's literally the number one thing. As somebody that's been around a lot of horses,
Say, as someone that's
you
inside
you
scoop.
can't do like stuff behind a horse because you will get kicked in the face. Like you just
Well-
you got to stay away, and like you've got like they have to know you're there. If they don't know you're there and you do something, they kick. That's their first. That's a response. If you're an unknown entity that just popped out behind them, like there's just protection.
The
So
purpose
Yeah.
for the horse ranch was irrelevant.
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
was the reason. It's the reason why the alien's there. The alien's there because
Because
it,
they're
because it has
Hollywood
horses.
horses?
Yeah.
No, just because there's a lot of horses.
Okay, I'm just saying the
So it's
horse
feed.
ranch. The reason for the horse ranch is irrelevant.
Well,
that
for
they're
the-
Hollywood horses, whatever. All that stuff in the build up in the beginning that makes you think.
You're saying it could just be a random ranch.
Yeah.
Well, I think they were just like adding a bit. So like instead of just a
yeah.
random ranch in Texas.
But like she
it's-
said, it makes
California.
you think that they're going to dive into
yeah.
that part of it, but they don't. It's like
They
this is
kind
why
of
they
do.
have a ranch.
They
cat
talk
horse
about it a
ranch.
lot, but
Well,
they don't do anything.
I think
Right.
the point of it is I think a lot of people don't realize that is the first like motion picture is that 2-second that 2-second shot.
Well, if you went to film school in high school, you'd know that.
Right. But I think like general population doesn't know that. And I think that that's an interesting aspect because I didn't know what the jockey's name on that was.
Yeah, I didn't know the jockey's name. I just knew that was the first film ever.
Yeah. And so if we need a location, like why shouldn't it be that?
Yeah, I just think it's like, okay, so we have this alien that needs to feed. What are we gonna do? Okay, well, like let's make it eat animals. What kind of animals do we want to have it eat? Okay, well, we don't want to do like sheep because it's out in the middle of nowhere.
We don't want to do cows because that's too cliche.
Yeah, that's too cliche with aliens. Okay, how about we do horses? Okay, we don't really want to do a Texas ranch because we're gonna have like.
Okay.
So I think I'm just saying, like, I think that was their
Maybe it's
process.
thought process.
That was their thought process, and they were like, "Oh, we can do a different angle with horses, but it's not a normal horse ranch."
Nobody thinks about.
Because horses are used in the film industry like crazy.
Oh,
like,
yeah. There's like lines of family horses that are actors in movies.
Oh yeah. Like a lot of your. I mean, I'm a big war epic fan, and like those use tons of horses, like your Bravehearts or stuff like that. So
I hear that.
Troy.
I've even heard that like horses develop like personalities and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
like acting horses bred for acting are like
funny.
super snooty. It's interesting, but
narcissist.
yeah, right.
Narcissist horses.
They know they a stud.
That's right. I see what you did there. Bringing some horse humor into the
Yeah, some
podcast.
horse puns.
I just wanted more.
More horses.
More with the outside.
No, I think in general, I wish I got more from this movie in general.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot that could have been explored, could have been explained, could have been done.
Yeah.
And instead they decided to just waste too much time at the beginning. I think that's where it comes down to.
Yeah.
They wasted too much at the beginning and they wasted too much with the monkey stuff that didn't have any payoff. When you watch stuff, you want a payoff to what you're watching. And the monkey
you want
stuff
it to tie together.
and there was just some stuff that didn't have good enough payoff.
Yeah. Well, and like we see, I did like that there were like titles for each section, like chapters.
I hated
guess
that actually.
Oh, I like knowing what the names were. So like,
I didn't mind that.
We see
they
Ghost.
literally say Ghost, and then like Ghost just pops up, and I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Like the title screen, Ghost.
Yes.
Like, go find Ghost. And I'm like,
I kept trying to figure out what they meant.
it was the horse's
It was
name.
the horse's name.
Well, I knew
there's
the first two were.
and then
They all were.
Jean Jacket is what they named the UFO creature.
Right.
which was
Right.
also a horse that.
What was there
Oh,
was
really?
one in between.
Supposed to train.
Yeah, she
When
was
she was
supposed to
9.
train a horse called Jean Jacket. It was her favorite horse.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, it
then
was-
her dad decided to let the son train instead of her.
It was Nope, Ghost, Clover, Lucky, Jean Jacket.
Yeah.
There was
Was the 5?
horse named Nope.
No, that was just
No,
the
that was
title
the first
screen.
title.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, that's stupid.
Well, and that's what I liked about the title was because then they talk about the black jockey on the horse, and that's the first time we hear her say nope. And I was like, oh, title, great. But then the rest of them, we didn't need Clover. We didn't need to have that horse abduction thing. We just needed Ghost, and we needed to go straight to Lucky.
Wait,
I
was
think.
Clover the?
that one happened fast, I thought.
Was that the fake horse?
Yes, I think so.
I thought the fake horse was actually cool. 'Cause
Well, then
that's
Ghost we didn't need then.
Yeah.
Ghost is the one that just ran off and just that was it. But
Well, I don't even. It's not that we didn't need all of them. It was just that there was so much time taken
yeah,
with each one.
for sure.
It literally does take an hour plus to really get into what you're finally getting into like
What's
Your
happening? What it's about?
yeah, your first act
Yeah.
is supposed to be 30 minutes, not an hour and 10. And that's what it felt like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and also setting it up that way with the chapters where there's 5 that kind of breaks up from like the 3-act structure that like
Or
breaks
maybe-
it up a little bit differently and it can feel really long
Actually,
that way.
I think I was wrong. I think the first act is really fast, and then the second act is like, because you're like, okay, first act.
Where
you're
would
kinda
you say that
you're kind
the
of getting the
transition
character
is?
stuff? Yeah, you're kind of getting your character stuff. You're kind of realizing who these people are, and then you realize then you see the UFO.
Yeah.
that's where the start of the second act happens.
and that would have been
and then
around
you've
Ghost. Yeah. All the build up to the final.
got the final act.
Yeah.
and like that's an hour of just. Oh, we get a glimpse of the UFO.
I did really
We
enjoy.
get a glimpse of the UFO.
Right.
Oh, we get a glimpse, and then you get the aliens, which is a really cool thing. Oh, but that's not the real aliens. That's fake aliens.
Yeah.
And we get oh, there's the UFO. And like that. So I think, the second act just felt like way too long.
Yeah.
And really, in general, like with movies in general, a lot of people say the second act is the slower of the acts. Mm-hmm. And so to have the second act, the slow act, be the one that you decide to take the majority of the time is a weird decision.
Well, and there weren't very many action beats to like split those up anyway. Like there wasn't really any kind of big act, except for seeing the UFO, like you said, at the end of the first act.
Yeah.
In the second, but
yeah.
And
I think when the first time they exposed the UFO, I thought was well done.
I agree.
But then and then it just took way too long for something to happen from that. So.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was the cloud that didn't move?
Yeah.
That's like where it stayed.
That was its house?
That's just so it tried to disguise itself in clouds. And so
or a cloud.
It could basically create clouds.
Okay.
Kind of. It basically had that cloud and it stayed in that cloud because if there's just a UFO floating over the sky, everybody would know it's there and it wouldn't be disguised.
That's dumb.
The cloud looks a lot better than that. So
yeah, it does in context. But,
I
just noticed on the poster the little flag thing is hanging off of it. That's cool.
Yeah.
And that's why I actually really liked the fake horse thing and the flag thing was really good. I agree.
Sorry.
I'm giving Tristan my sinus infections.
Please don't. I thought all that stuff was clever.
Yeah, but I think the cloud thing was good. So basically, that cloud didn't move because they call it a territorial animal, and so it wants this territory, and so it stays there. And then when it's ready to attack, it moves throughout the other clouds. But it has this cloud that's stationary, so it can just stay hidden.
I've actually seen clouds like that.
Clouds congratulations, you've seen some UFOs
not moving, and then the clouds. But it's like
it's just clouds
some of
moving
them are farther away. Yeah,
it's clouds moving.
It's really strange.
Yeah, no.
I saw that and I thought I've seen that before.
Yeah, but not for like a cloud staying there for 3 months in a row. Yeah.
Well, give us a call next time. We'll bring our camera equipment and we'll get it captured on film.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But we have to have a non-electronic camera to roll it,
right?
And then right when the UFO comes out, it'll run out of film, so we have to
reload it. Yeah,
I just hate those cliches. That really,
was another one.
That really pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's just why is he rolling the camera all this time before?
Yeah.
That doesn't nothing's happening yet.
I wonder if it's one of those. I wonder if it was built where it was like once it starts, you can't stop.
No, my only guess would they're trying to do a documentary, quote unquote, and so maybe that's why he wanted to roll the whole thing. But then why would you not have film ready right away?
Right.
And I don't know if this is anything like showing a movie back in the day, but back in the day when you were showing a movie, you would preload the film so it'd just keep going.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have a break. I figured you would be doing the same. Well, no, I don't think it's the same.
Yeah.
Just going off my knowledge of hearing other people talk about how they used to film movies, I think they used to have to take breaks when film had to be reloaded.
Sure. Speaking of that scene, though, the TMZ guy, I think I was the only one in the theater that
laughed.
I laughed out loud
when he crashed.
Yes, I thought that was hilarious.
I think you audibly were like, didn't you?
I don't know.
Just the way he flew off of it was so funny.
I also don't. That doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
The electronics went out. The wheels would still turn.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with electronics that doesn't totally make sense in terms of audio and
they were saying, oh, he's going 60 miles an hour when the electronics of the bike go out.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that
the wheels stop turning.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that the emergency brakes go or he hits a wall. It just means that the bike will turn off. Well, and if your car turns off when you're driving, it doesn't just stop moving.
Slam to a halt. Yeah,
trust me, I know. I've been driving and it just shuts off. You just roll and you try to start it, and if it starts, you just keep driving.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really weird.
It was the same thing with the radios. Every time they talked, then it would slow down and get real deep. Yeah. But that's not how it worked. It would just shut off immediately. So
yeah, and that may have been some weird thing with
That's what I.
with the yeah.
That bothered me with the song that came back on a slow motion. I'm like, what is playing that would do that?
What was this?
Yeah.
It's not the radio. Is it a
So I
cassette tape?
yeah,
Yeah.
It was weird.
It kind of acted
didn't make
like
sense.
it kind of acted like a record. Like if a record was starting and it
I
like
guess
started
so.
slower than normal, it'd go no, and then it would go at
Yeah.
normal speed.
Yeah.
And if it
But
was
there wasn't
slow-
a record in the car.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a radio. So
Yeah.
they like decided to do record properties with.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
didn't know the time of this movie.
I think it was supposed to be
modern day-ish.
Yeah.
Because
Listen to me. I didn't finish.
No.
I'm so sorry.
In the
Please forgive
beginning,
me.
I was like, he has a flip phone. There was something else that looked really old. Maybe the house. I don't know. But there are a bunch of things that I was like, what time are we in? And then they went to the store to get the cameras and stuff. And then she has like an iPhone or a touchscreen phone.
And it mentions the UFO new name.
Yeah.
well, like before that, just I was like, okay, maybe we are in modern time.
I also was a little confused on exactly what.
Yeah,
Now,
I thought
when,
about
when,
that
we, when we went to the film set, you could tell it was at least within the 20th century.
Yeah.
Or 21st century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was all modern-ish equipment. But when they had the conversation about the UFOs to whatever, like that's when I was like, oh, this is like at least 2022 or 2023. Like maybe they went slightly in the future because like.
Yeah, it was different.
It just.
But it was
threw me
definitely like
off.
it's definitely now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and like you can still buy flip phones. Like I have a friend
Oh,
that had
yeah.
a flip phone for a while, and so I think that fit with
Your
OJ's
friend
like
Heather.
aesthetic, like that
She
he
has
would
an
have
iPhone.
that.
I agree.
No.
Yeah,
And I really like the conversation they had about electronics going out and we need backups or whatever. And he's like, well, my phone went out too. Like, he was like, that doesn't make any sense because it's not like, it's not connected to anything. Like your Wi-Fi will go out if the router goes out, then it has to reconnect. But your phone is
Yeah. When he
its own
said
battery.
that, I was like, okay, it's in now time.
Yeah, and I thought that was a really I really liked that conversation because it was like showing that like this alien is doing things that are like abnormal to like EMP. Like it's not an EMP. Like this is a different sense of electronic shutdown.
Yeah.
So, I really like how the movie starts with the dad and the son
yes.
and just like random like things falling.
However, that's a continuity error because there's blood the second time it happens, and there's no blood that first time.
Are you kidding? You
What?
don't know why that doesn't happen?
Are you making fun of me right now?
Yes.
I will throw some hands.
The reason why there's blood the second time is because he just ate 43 people
Okay.
and was digesting and crushed them up. And
Okay.
then so when he released it all,
Okay.
there's blood because he just ate a bunch of people.
Okay. Tell me more.
What?
That's why there's blood the second time.
Okay. Well, if these
first time
if
he didn't
the
eat
only other
anything.
time we see him release that crap is the first time
And he didn't eat
when there's no
anything.
blood. So
Yeah.
then by that aspect, there should be no blood the second time.
So the first time he didn't eat anything. There was no being. There was no physical.
Then why were there keys?
Do keys have blood? Does metal have blood?
No, but people do.
He didn't eat people yet.
Then why were there keys?
If he ate things, then a key might be in those things. That's what,
What
he's trying to
thing?
say. A
I don't.
house.
Yeah,
A shed.
What? That
A
doesn't make any
trailer.
sense.
because he was
I
dropping.
stand by what I said.
He
There's
was dropping.
continuity error.
He was dropping quarters. He was dropping keys. He was dropping metal.
all things
They
that
were all-
people would carry
They
on
were all
them.
small things.
That people would carry on them, because keys and
Guess
dimes
what?
and
You
stuff.
guys don't have to agree.
That's true.
Cool.
You know, later though, there were much bigger pieces falling.
Because he was eating full like things, and he had ate also that whole entire area of people. So the reason why there was blood is because
Yeah.
he had just ate 43 people, and so I'm saying that's why there's blood the second time.
Yeah.
Because he like literally that day, 2 hours before, this being had just ate all these people and digested them and then spit them out. That's also why now the continuity error might be with the feeding process of like, why is he eating these things if he's just spitting it out later? I mean, maybe that's
I
just
thought he was just messy.
maybe that's just
Like he just couldn't hold all that in.
yeah. I was like, maybe that's his poop. I don't know. He doesn't need the blood. He just needs the flesh
He
and the
doesn't
meat.
digest the blood very well,
Yeah.
so it comes out.
Yeah, but I mean, we know that he doesn't digest metal.
Yeah.
So, but nonetheless, whether you think it's a continuity error or not, I like the way it starts with you just hear things
Yes,
like
it's
out of
good.
nowhere, like solid things hitting the ground, and it sounds like rain or hail, but it's not
Yeah.
because it's in like completely clear skies. And then like his dad just dies by a quarter. And I thought that was like a really
I thought it was a nickel.
Whatever. It's a coin.
Yeah.
I know, but even smaller.
yeah.
Yeah, that was creepy.
And yeah, exactly.
I was thinking, why is it taking you so long to
yeah, I thought that
do
too.
something?
I
Well, it was funny because once he like registered he should act, he ran as fast as he could.
yeah.
But yeah, it took a long time for
Yeah,
it
it
to go
did.
off for him though.
I was also I felt the same thing, like why are you waiting so long? But I also thought it was a really good way of like setting just the like
I think he was kind of in shock. Like what?
yeah, what is that? Like what
Like he.
well,
couldn't-
I would be like, oh, that's hail, and then I'd be like, oh, we need to get the horses up
yeah.
if it's hailing.
Yeah. But I think it was pretty obvious it wasn't hail. And then seeing the key in the horse's butt.
That was
That was
Yeah.
gross. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm like I thought that was a really good way to open
Yeah. It was.
the movie.
It was.
I think all of us three, maybe Trevor, the biggest problem with the movie is the 10-minute in to an hour in was just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like that was way too much time. Like it should have been 30 minutes, not
Oh,
an
It
hour
didn't
long.
No, I agree.
Didn't
Yes.
get to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Point.
it took too long to get to the meat.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
No pun intended.
Yeah, and I guess my biggest beef with it is that the pieces just weren't connecting like I felt like they should have.
yeah. I mean, to me, the only piece that
Didn't
didn't
tie together.
The only piece that didn't tie into me was the monkey stuff, which
That was big.
Yeah, exactly.
time
yes,
on that.
yes, 100%. Like that. Like that's a really big thing to have in the movie. Spend. I mean, stuff always feels longer when you're watching it. It was probably only 10 or less minutes of film time,
Yeah.
but it feels like a lot.
Yeah.
So in the end, do you think OJ and the horse are alive, or is that just
No, I think
we're
they're.
here watching over you?
No, I think
thought
they're
they were
definitely alive.
I thought so too. Trevor thought maybe not,
Well, no,
but they're it's cloudy.
Well, let me explain myself.
I see the point though.
So what I was saying, we talked about it a second before we started. What I was saying was the shot I think is meant to be a little ambiguous because he's standing underneath a sign that says over yonder.
Yeah.
And it's misty. And so
Yeah.
I think, but however, we've seen the alien. The only time it eats is when it's in that UFO
Yeah.
form, and it's not that way. So I like that. I think that it might even be left up to like the viewer if he's alive. I personally think he's alive, but
Yeah,
sorry, I
definitely-
didn't mean to like jump in so aggressively.
Yeah, we're
but-
No,
kind
that's
of.
fine.
I think it's good. We're jumping to the end. I think it definitely. I didn't think they were going to show anything other than her face, and I was going to be really fucking pissed. I thought it was literally just going to end with her face being like she was like having this odd,
yeah.
Yeah.
not odd, but in awe face.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what he was going to end. I'm like, this is stupid. 'Cause it was like,
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked that either.
exactly. It was like, okay, she's either looking at her brother who survived and she's happy, or the alien is back and they did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So what? This whole eye thing for 10 minutes was really stupid. But I don't get what it was about because he's like, don't look at it. Then he looks at it.
'Cause
So-
was
He looks
trying
at it to draw it away.
Yes.
Is he trying to be the decoy?
He
Yes.
was trying to get
They were
it away
both being
from
the
girl.
decoy.
They were trying to save each other.
It was dumb.
Yes. So if you don't look at it, it won't attack you.
Right.
And
right.
so,
So I thought, why don't they just both not look at it?
and that might
trying-
be a part of it of them being stupid because they accident like she would look up and be like, dang it, dang it, dang it,
Yeah,
dang
yeah.
it, dang
I
it, dang
can't
it.
look up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's already after her. And so like they would bait the alien back and forth. And so it was like it was a way of drawing it in. So the other one could do their thing and then drawing the other one in. So the other one, and so it was like and I thought that was smart
Yeah.
because it's the thing has a very specific, like it even would eat.
What was that green streamer thing?
No one knows.
That's stupid.
What?
when it opens, it's like its mouth when it's in its like final form. The little thing, it would like
It's
flourish
like
every few
streamers.
seconds. Every few seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just. The design of this creature is so dumb, man.
It is
I don't
so
like
dumb.
it. Like, it's fine. It's your thing, Jordan. Do your thing.
I wish it was
I think it's so
CGI.
dumb.
I wish it was like legitimately scary.
I feel like I feel like if he told us what his process was, I feel like we would like it. But it's hard through the film
To explain how it
understand
works, yeah.
what that is, because the first thing we get is that the squared,
Yeah.
and that's the alien.
Yeah.
and it shows us the horse and the black man running, the first movie ever made.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the alien.
Yeah.
We don't know that until later on, but
Wait, what?
So way early on when we first, when I saw that part, I thought it was a mix. Sorry, Tristan just like slid into view real sly. The first time we see that the first film ever made, the guy on the horse,
Yeah.
we're seeing it from inside the alien.
Yeah.
I thought it all the sheets and stuff. I thought it transitioned into like this is like we're inside a camera.
yeah.
Because you don't know it's the alien at the moment.
Yes.
But
I did not get any of that.
Well, you
not
won't in the
supposed
moment.
to, yeah.
You
No,
won't in the
never.
moment. I understand.
This whole time I thought it was in the
camera.
no.
Oh.
I thought it was at the filming place.
Yeah. If you rewatch it, you would totally get it. Probably. I think.
You have such hope in me.
But
Right.
but my point is I feel like he has a very specific he designed it, and he
Yeah.
has
Yes.
everything, like this thing had a specific purpose, and like because every time they're being inside the monster, that square thing is there.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's like its stomach or its soul or it's whatever.
Yeah.
But it's something.
Yeah.
And the film doesn't do a good job of explaining what that is. But I know he has
He has a reason
the
for
full
it.
form of it looked like a pirate ship.
'Cause-
I
yeah,
liked
it.
it. I already
Yeah, it
said this
did.
once. I really liked the full form of it because it subverted my. It's not Ryan Johnson subverting my expectations. It's just naturally like I thought it was just a UFO form.
Yeah.
That okay. Apparently, it's like the UFO isn't a ship. It's a full being.
Yeah.
And it eats through its sucking up
Sheets.
whatever.
Eats through the
Yeah.
sheets.
Well, I mean, it wasn't sheets yet.
I know. I'm playing.
But then
A little bit.
but then it like expands and like it pretty much like I don't know.
Fans out.
Well, it's kind of like it opens up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like comes out through that hole.
It kind of. Have you guys?
Because when it folds back up, it like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Exactly.
seen that image
The entrails become the extrails,
It was
and the
fr-
extrails become the entrails.
when
It's a Knight's
It was
Tale.
from like
Okay, go on.
a few years ago, I think. There was some oil rig that had cameras at the bottom of the pillars that they were using, and like this like squid looking thing showed up.
Yeah,
it looks
yeah.
a lot like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
One of the biggest squids in human history.
yeah, and it's
that's
got like
ever
the
been
super
recorded.
long
Yeah.
tentacles and yeah, it kind of reminded me of that. But
And maybe that's what he was kind of drawing it off
Yeah.
of just this, like, things don't have to have solidness
Yeah.
to it. There's a lot of fluidity to creatures.
yeah,
Like even in our own, like in our world, like
Yeah.
there are things that are just stringy that somehow still have.
sentience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Like an octopus.
that's what we're talking about. Like that squid is like,
Yeah.
it's literally 45 feet long, and it's literally just stringiness.
Yeah.
But it moves, it thinks, it eats, it.
Every time I go to look at an octopus in an aquarium, it's all curled up in a ball.
Yeah.
I want to see it out. Every time it's sleeping.
Sorry, I'm pulling up the video so they can see what it looks like.
Just Andrea.
That's okay. I know what you're talking about.
Do you?
No.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So its tentacles go all the way down. That's the 45 feet, and then the head's
Cow,
up there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that may have been an inspiration, but behind
Yeah,
where he.
maybe.
I think you're right though. Like that's why I've been trying to be poignant about it. Is George like it's his decision. And he's consistent with this creature. I just didn't totally find the design of it to be super great.
Yeah, and I think the square thing was always what was behind the circle of the
gotcha.
sphere.
Yeah.
and so that was the eyes of the being.
Yeah.
and if you look at it in the eyes,
Then
and
it
that's
eats
the
you.
circle.
Yeah.
It feels threatened.
Right.
It's not it just eats you. It's just it feels threatened, and so it's like I need to end this. So
I need to eat you right now.
so.
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to add on to? Any other questions? Any other concerns?
The whole movie.
Oh, any other discussion topics?
No.
All right, we
Yeah.
got all blanks. Okay, so I guess it's time to rate. Nope.
Faux.
4.
1.
1. That low.
That
Yeah.
low.
Seriously.
Seriously.
If we could cut this to an hour and 20 minutes, would it go up?
No.
Probably. Well, if you could get it to an hour and 20 and condense it to, like, take out the monkeys.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
and- Yeah,
cut out,
maybe
cut
it would
kind of
go
the blank
higher.
spaces.
Yeah, it might go higher. Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the biggest problem. If you,
Oh, yeah.
if you
Because I
can't,
felt like it would never end.
yeah. If you can't deal with just nothingness happening for 5
Yeah.
minutes at a time, I totally understood. Yeah, that might be some people's thought process while watching it. I was intrigued, but I'm definitely like, this is really slow, and I could. When Tristan said you were falling asleep, I'm like, I get it. That sucks because I'm like, I'm enjoying it, but I understand
that's
why
fair.
she's falling asleep.
Yeah.
Tristan,
275.
275. I'm also at a 4. Trevor and I, for the first time in a
Wow.
long time, have been.
Really?
I just mean on a abstract kind of out there movie.
That's fair.
Like You Love Lighthouse. I think it's weird.
I've never seen Lighthouse.
Oh, what's the? I don't know. There's a movie that I'm.
I
thinking
gave it
of.
a 1 because, like, I would never see it again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't see the point of ever.
No.
Like,
I don't see the point. I wouldn't recommend anybody else see it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't see it again. It doesn't need to be out there.
Is it
it
kill?
doesn't need to be out there.
Is it Killing of a Sacred Deer?
Maybe I did very much dislike that movie.
But thank you for inviting me, and
Well,
I enjoyed the experience, and we had a great lunch. I really
yeah,
enjoyed that.
Good,
It was good.
Good. Yeah, we went out to. Nope, you're not paying for our ad, so you don't get a shout out. Whatever restaurant you are.
But it was delicious.
If you are a Wichita-based restaurant, you can definitely pay us, and we will 100% say your restaurant is the best.
That's right.
Okay, well, that's I think about it for today's review. Unless Trevor's got something he looks like he does.
No, I was trying to find that movie that we disagree on.
I don't know where my phone is, so I don't know what we're watching next week.
Thought you had a calendar in
Calendar's
here.
back there.
Looks like it's DC Pets.
Hey, I don't know. It may not be that. It's the
Is that a cartoon?
yeah.
And then The Gray Man
That's
came
a
out.
trick too.
Oh yeah, we might watch Gray Man. We might do Gray Man.
But then the first week of August is Bullet Train and
Ooh.
Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
heck yeah.
Some Pete Davidson action,
Yep.
as well as some Brad Pitt action.
So
Different
yeah,
movies.
That's right.
Who knows what we're doing next week? There's a couple different options. We might do the Dwayne Johnson DC Pets because it looks funny enough, but also it's a kids movie and nobody listens to
I
our
saw
kids
that
movies.
commercial.
Looks better than Minions.
Not true. And then
Trent will love it.
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to rate and review wherever you're listening. That helps us out a lot. And yeah, we will be back next week. And thank you guys for listening. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, moron!
You talking to me? You talking to me?
There seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello?
What an idiot!
Well, what do you expect? I'm the movie moron.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people! I've known sheep that could outwit you.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
I'm actually surprised you would like
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense. No, none taken.